everybody. Welcome to the Cafe Stream. I am Johnny Brooklyn. Holla at your boy. That was probably the cheesiest thing to say, but who cares? Before we get started, Anna Russo, straight hollering in or coming at us from the Bronx, right, Anna?
Yep.
All right. She is not only our special guest, but every guest hangs out and does some co-hosting with me. It makes for a better show because I basically have no idea what the freak I'm doing. But be that as it may, for my audience, I set it up. Hopefully the studio looks good to you. I've got some music in the background. If you can't hear it, get better ears or shoot me a email and tell me to shut up and play the music louder. All good. I'm always up for constructive criticism. Again, Anna Russo, welcome. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
This is the premiere show. This is basically getting the kinks out, formatting, give people an idea what the cafe stream is about. It's basically Johnny Brooklyn's coffee chit chat. In Webster's dictionary, chit chat is basically asinine discussion. Has absolutely no bearing on the planet. It's just chit chat. What I'd like to do right now is Anna, hang out with me. You got your coffee?
I got my coffee.
Your coffee. Gotta have your coffee. Wow. And I see that your nails match the coffee cup.
Yes, of course.
Is that done on purpose?
No, I just been on a pink kick lately.
A pink hit. Kick or
Yeah.
kick? Kick.
Kick.
So while we're chatting, I have to make my cup of coffee in the coffee chit chat or the cafe stream coffee mug, which incidentally will be up for sale as long as t-shirts as the show progresses. I don't want to go there just yet, but you never know. Shoot me an email, I'll send you one. Not for free. So while we're talking, try to make this as live as possible. Now I know everybody on the show wants me to spill this all over my white shirt. I'm telling you. Is it ready? Here's the suspense. Ready? Perfect. Not a freaking drop. For once. Usually when we wear something like this, we spill something on it. I hope everybody's enjoying the background. This is the TV that Anna would usually be on via Skype or any other medium. The problem is I'm trying to work out the kinks. I can give you ambiance, I can give you backdrop, I can give you what looks like a studio with all the professional equipment and some background music. Other than that, this is a work in progress. So Anna, if you will allow me, let's start the show.
Yes, please.
So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Men and women of all backgrounds and children of all ages. Welcome to the greatest, or it's either the greatest or the most boring show you will ever take part in or spend your time watching. So welcome to the Cafe Stream. I'm Johnny Brooklyn, and this is Coffee Chit Chat. I am Johnny Brooklyn, your host, and this is Anna Russo coming at us live from the Bronx. And since I'm from Johnny Brooklyn, I have to do this. How you doing? How you doing? So let's get into it. I did type this up only because I think it's important for us to get an idea of what the show is. I want it to be interactive, and I want everybody to know where I'm coming from. So it is said that it is the little things that matter the most. Each one of us are those little things in a grand universe that, in my view, matter the most. It is the individual that matters the most. Get it? And everyone is as important as the next. We have gifts, we love, we laugh, we chatter, we bitch, we cry, and enjoy the comfort of a hug, a kiss, and the accolades of a loved one. You agree? So far, so good? Excellent. I think I'm being graded on this. Trust me, I'll have haters. On a planet of billions of individuals, it can be difficult to find common ground and agree on anything. And with the world going nuts and the flames of, well, pick your topic, that's your flame, it can seem an insurmountable climb to find any similarity. I got to do that over again. It can seem an insurmountable climb to find any similarity with one another. Very difficult to find commonality, especially in a world that's on fire. I'm going to turn this down because it's bothering me. Then there's coffee. So we got all these problems. Everything's going to hell in a handbasket. What does that even mean? You know what that means, Anna? Hell in
Going
a
to
hand.
hell in a handbasket. I don't know the origin of that. I really
Like,
don't.
how do you get to
but
hell in a handbasket?
No.
Like, what's going on?
I don't know.
I mean, I am a basket
Google
case,
it.
but I hope I'm not going there. So then there's coffee. All around the globe, cultures of every color, races of all backgrounds and ideologies find a time to sit and sip a cup of coffee. In point of fact, it is the one thing we can all agree on. In simple terms, it's a cup, ground beans, hot water, magic. So at the Cafe Stream, here's what I intend to do. I intend to break cycles, confound chaos, break open barriers, lift spirits, defy anger and depression. I intend to calm nerves, pick up the fallen, and bring smiles and OMGs to anyone willing to join me in a cup of coffee or tea. By the way, if you're a tea drinker, no problem. All good. Come on in. Not too sure about tea and biscuits, but that's how they do it over there in London, and God bless them as well. Oops, did I say that? By the way, no religion, no politics. Out the door. Save all that stuff. Put it in the closet. Put it under your bed, along with the other things you have under your bed, or store it away in your garage with the other things that you have in your garage. I don't want to know. So we will take a moment to reflect on the good, smile at the beautiful, laugh at the furry, and breathe in the fresh air of an open field, pet the pet, smell the hug of a loved one, and break through the fences of worry and depression. It is my goal to talk about coffee, find common ground, search for the funny, and turn neighbors into friends and groups into individuals. I firmly believe that with the Cafe Stream, we together can bring some hope and happiness, information and education. Let me do that again. I firmly believe that with the Cafe Stream, we together can bring some hope and happiness, information and education, find the lost, and to ourselves, wait, I gotta do that again. Education, lost and found to ourselves and our lives. In other words, we need to find ourselves. And when the cup of coffee is empty, we will sign off together from the Cafe Stream, ready to meet the week, tackle the day, and try again every Sunday at 4 p.m. to live, love, coffee, and chat. By the way, everybody, live, love, laugh, coffee, and chat. That's Anna Russo's idea, so give her a great round of applause. Yay. So, where do we go from here? Next item on the menu. Okay, the next item on the menu. We need to give some shout outs to individuals. I'd like to thank Tanya Evans and Jennifer Davila. Tanya Evans is the general manager of Candlewood Suites, and Jennifer Davila is the director of sales at Candlewood Suites. I met them a few months ago when I moved to Texas from Brooklyn. That's right, y'all. So how do you do that? How you doing, y'all? So I've been living here because of my other job, and I fell in love with it so much that I decided to stay here. I'll be here for a while. Who else? Oh, Anthony Russo, who is going to be helping me produce the show. So he's somewhere in a dark room with a bunch of computers in a t-shirt, and he's going to try and hook this up when I'm done with it. He's going to turn this chaos and make it nice. I want to thank also, oh boy, I screwed up. Bear with me, everybody. This will be really quick, I promise. I screwed up. What do you think about that, Anna?
What do I think about you screwing up?
Yeah.
Hey, it happens.
It happens. Okay, so designs by Rocky. The shirt And the logo was pieced together by Designs by Rocky. And if you'll give me a minute, I want everybody to get a pen and paper. And I want you to write down her website, and I want you to give her some business. Call her up, ask for some t-shirts, and she'll hook you up. You contact Designs by Rocky at designsbyrocky@gmail.com. That's DESIGNSBYROCKIE@gmail.com. I've seen some of her work. It is amazing work. She's good at what she does. She lives in Texas, but I don't think that's going to be a problem if you live in Alaska and you need some t-shirts that say Polar Bears Rock. Wait a minute, polar bears are not in Alaska. If you live in the Antarctic and you want t-shirts to say Polar Bears Rock, call Jackie at Designs by Rocky. There will be a logo either here or somewhere up there. Anthony, that's your job. I wouldn't know. It's going to be here somewhere. All right, who else am I forgetting? Mom, Dad, hi. Your son is making a complete fool out of himself, but all I'm trying to do is bring happiness and smiles to everybody. So let's talk about you for a minute, Anna. The first topic of this show is going to be addiction. So again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Anna Russo. She fights the fine fight in recovery. We're going to get into what you do and where you're headed and a little bit on your story. So say hello to my audience.
Hello, audience. How are you? Real quick, I have here the origin of Hell in a Handbasket.
Yeah, go for it.
It's an American phrase which came into general use during the American Civil War. Though its popularity has spread into other countries, the origin of the term "go to hell in a handbasket" is unknown. So nobody knows where it came from, but it got popular in the Civil War.
So
that's all I got.
It's an American thing from the Civil War, and we're not really sure where it came from, but we do know. It's interesting. I mean, I can imagine, yeah, if you're fighting the Civil War. Huh, hell in a handbasket. Well, now we know. Anna, thank you so much. Now we know something we didn't know yesterday.
That's right.
Okay, so let's move on. Let's next item on the menu. So let's talk about the format and the future of the show, because the next 4 shows are going to be pre-recorded. We're going to put in all the bells and whistles, but at some point we're going to be doing live shows. When the masks come off, and hopefully we'll build a huge bonfire of masks and get back to the business of liberty and freedom. But basically the format of the show is to have a guest. We discuss what they do, because I believe every individual has a story. Every individual is just as unique in their story as anybody else. So one of the things we're going to do is we're going to go through a series of questions that I think are riveting and can lead into can lead deeper into a more entertaining conversation. So the first one would be, what's your biggest regret? That's a big one. What do you regret the most in your life? Second one would be, what would you do what thing would you do that's different? What would you do different in your life? If a genie came out of a bottle and said, okay, you got a chance, to do it all over again, where would you be? What would you do? And yeah, so that's it. And the last but not least, what makes you happy? A lot of times it's like, what makes you sad? Oh, what makes you depressed? What don't you like? What do you hate? Let's do something different. Let's talk about what makes you happy. We already discussed what you regret. We already know you want to do something different, but let's stick to the here and now. Okay, you're not an astronaut. You're not walking on the moon. You're not, you're not a cowboy. You're not a fireman. Whatever, and that's not to say that what you're doing is not grand or great, but we would all do things different. So at the end of that, let's talk about what makes you happy. Let's deal with the here and now. So the history of coffee. Now, this is a part of the segment. I gotta throw this stuff away. Have my sugar. How many sugars do you take, Anna?
On a small cup of coffee, about 4. On this cup of coffee, about 10.
10. Wow, I just take 3.
Okay, I'm exaggerating. 7.
7. All right.
Yeah, I like it sweet.
And what kind of coffee do you like? Is there any flavors? Is there any special creams? Is it half and
Yeah.
half? Is it 2%? Is it whole milk? What do we got?
Okay, so I like my coffee light and sweet. I prefer Bustelo. Some people say it comes from Mexico. Some people say it's Puerto Rican. It doesn't say it on the package. I was checking that out last night. But I love Bustelo. I like the Spanish coffees. I like Pilon. They're strong. They're almost espresso-like. And once in a blue moon, I'll have some hazelnut. But I like it very simple. Milk, whole milk, and sugar.
I like frappuccinos and I like cappuccinos.
Okay.
I'm wondering why they don't have a cup of coffee that's called Al Pacino. We got frappuccino, cappuccino, Al Pacino. The cup of coffee would be like, hey, you drinking me? Put some more sugar in there. What are you doing? That's the Al Pacino latte. Anyway, that was so dry. Sorry, audience. I wanted to do that. I just wanted to do that. Anyway, so I got some tidbits about coffee. Apparently, I've got 2 things here that was sent to me by Nicole Rodriguez out of New Jersey, the Garden State, they wish. And she will be providing us with once a week tidbits on coffee. So, the title of this is, check it out, we wouldn't have coffee if it wasn't for goats.
What?
Just read that again. We wouldn't have coffee if it wasn't for goats. You ready for this, Anna?
Yeah.
I mean, like, what are you thinking? Like the title.
I'm thinking, yeah, nothing comes to mind. Maybe milk,
Maybe.
but no one likes goat's milk, right?
I like goat cheese.
Yeah, I don't.
Let's find out. Ready? Okay, so we wouldn't have coffee if it wasn't for goats. So legend has it that an Ethiopian shepherd named Kaldi discovered the coffee plant circa 850 AD. As the tale goes, his goats became crazy energetic after nibbling on the small red fruit of a bush. Kaldi tried them out himself, the fruits or the beans or the nuts, and gleefully brought them to an Islamic monk. But the monk disapproved and threw them into the fire, prompting the familiar smell of delicious coffee. Everyone panicked and raked the beans to save them from the flames, then grabbed them, dissolved them in hot water, and voila, to use the word voila, the world's first cup of coffee was born. Although the story is entertaining, experts warn it's probably made up, and there are too many other accounts to confirm which one is true. While that story's origins and legitimacy are unknown, the earliest documented evidence comes from Sufi monasteries in Yemen, at the bottom of the Arabian Peninsula, dating back to the 15th century. So, I guess the moral to this tale is don't drink coffee while walking your goat, or keep goats away from coffee. But I didn't know that. I didn't even know that they had Islamic monks. And I had no idea. There's some interesting information in here. We can go anywhere with this, but there you go. So we wouldn't have coffee if it wasn't for goats. Bad. Now, second one, happy wife, happy life. Okay. So by the late 15th century, coffee shops were everywhere in Constantinople, modern-day Istanbul. The drink had become such a huge part of the Turkish culture that, according to legend, check this out, a law was created that gave any woman the power to divorce her husband, get this, if he neglected to provide her with an adequate amount of coffee. Wow.
Yes.
So, gentlemen, put coffee in your prenup. You never know. All right, so that's interesting. So we'll get those twice a week. I'll save them. And now you know, now you can take something to your cooler tomorrow to discuss. Wait, are we back to work yet? No, we're not at coolers yet. We're still by the faucet. Okay. All right, what's next on the menu? Okay, so to our main topic. The addiction issue, part one, the individual. Once again, Anna Russo, born in 1973. Excuse me, let's do that again. I need my coffee. Oh yeah, nice. Coffee and then vape. You ready for this? To all my vapors out there, this rules. By the way, if you have a flavor that you think I should try, email me or subscribe to my website at thecafestream.wixsite.com/coffee chat. Please, everybody, listen to me. We're working out the rust. We're cleaning out, we're doing what we can with the show. At some point, this is going to be awesome. I mean, it already is awesome because I'm here. And of course, because Anna Russo's here. We're all here. We're all taking our time on a Sunday afternoon to check out my show. It's going to evolve. We're going to be doing shows on site at coffee shops. We're going to get more into the history of coffee. We're going to have funny stories about coffee. In fact, I might even want to go places and try out different coffees. Also, if you have an idea for coffee, if you have a strange way of making your coffee, send it in to thecafestream@gmail.com or come onto the website, subscribe, and let us know what your favorite coffee is. Now, Anna Russo. So, Anna, you were born in 1973 on an army base in Munich, Germany. Nice. So you're an army brat. Awesome. And your dad was a mechanic in the army. He moved to Sunset, Brooklyn at 3 years old in 1977. Dropped out of high school at age 15, pregnant at 17, and then got married. Congratulations. You separated a couple of years later. You suffered from alcoholism and addiction for a little over 3 decades. At some point, you made the decision to get clean a few years ago and have been working and helping other addicts since being clean for over 2 years. You currently live in the Bronx, a borough of the city of New York. Anna, say hello to my audience and let's get a little bit deeper into who you are. So you say you're from the Bronx. Where about? What part exactly are you from the Bronx?
Okay, let's get a couple of things straight. I am not from the Bronx. I am from Brooklyn.
Right. But you live in the Bronx.
I reside in the Bronx now. I don't think I could ever bring myself to say that I'm from the Bronx because I'm just such a Brooklyn girl. But I live down in Soundview. It's a hell of a neighborhood. And life took me here.
Explain that. Life took you there. What do you mean by that?
Well, I moved around a lot my whole life. My lifestyle brought me to do that. Brought me a lot of places, and I traveled halfway across the country and everything. And I moved around a lot, right? I could never plant any roots or get any consistency in my life, due to the addiction and my lifestyle. And, going through treatment and everything. And when, I had become homeless at the end. And so when I was getting ready to leave treatment, I needed to get things, my ducks in a row. And I got housing through a program, and this was the apartment was. And so life brought me here. It's affordable for me right now. It's a stepping stone for me to get my life together. It's a nice apartment. I have a roommate, and she is walking around. Hello. I thought I was going to have the room to myself, but it worked out another way. Apologize for that. I would have set up somewhere else, but I was told that
it's more generic that way. Is that the
okay? Good. Because she's got things to do.
Yeah. we're not Kim Kardashian. We're not, you know, we're just ordinary people coming together and talking about each other's lives and what we've gone through. Anyway, so, all right. So you moved to Sunset Brooklyn at 3 years old in 1977. Tell us about Sunset Brooklyn.
Wow, Sunset Park. You know, so where I grew up actually was kind of on the cusp of Bay Ridge and Sunset Park. You know, so I had to the left we had, you know, the white neighborhood, the nice one. To the right was all Puerto Rican. Not to put separation between anyone, but this is a fact of my life. And there is a difference in the neighborhoods, you know. Brooklyn's rough. Brooklyn is really rough. I got picked on a little bit, too Spanish for the white kids, too white for the Spanish kids. So one day I got really pissed off and then nobody picked on me ever again. You know, but it started young for me. I was 12 years old, you know, with my first joint, and then 13 with my 40 ounce. And it started young, and we ran the streets and we tore shit up. Oops, sorry, I don't know if I can curse or not. We tore things up. You know, you want it organic, right? So
just let it roll.
What else?
Let it roll. You're taking us through a very intimate part of your life, and I appreciate it, and I think the audience is going to appreciate it because, and I don't mean to cut you off. We're gonna get back on track. But addiction is something that I believe is a good starting point for my show. Not only is it associated with coffee, because when we're trying to help our friends out or a family member is addicted, we always find ourselves in a situation where we're either in the kitchen or in a coffee shop having a cup of coffee and discussing what the next move is. You know, and so I thought it was appropriate, not just because it's, you know, the common factor might be coffee, but I think I wanted to start off the show on a very humanistic level. I wanted to go real deep into the human element of you know, into an element that we can all not just relate to, but we all have experience with in some capacity or other, because it's not just alcohol and drugs. Gambling, coffee itself is an addiction, smoking. So, and again, once again, I appreciate you, Anna, for coming on board and diving into your personal life and sharing your experiences in this part one of a two-part series, which you're going to be on next week as well. So if we can go back to you for a minute. Now, you dropped out of high school at age 15. Was that because of your addiction or because of your...
It's hard to tell. You know, I'm a very bright girl. I can't do math, but everything else I excel in, right? Because I took the test to get my GED or my high school diploma. And I failed math, but everything else I excel. But, you know, I was a bright girl, but I was a bad kid because of a lot of different reasons, you know. I had a mom that was, you know, I don't know if she's going to watch this or not, but a little suffocating, you know what I mean? Didn't really have the, you know, my brother was out doing his thing, my parents were all doing their thing, and I was kind of left to my own vices. And even when someone wanted to take care of me, you know, I've always had this freedom thing. Don't tread on me, don't clip my wings. I had that at a very young age. You know, I had to go. I had to be outside. The streets called to me, you know. So I'm not exactly sure what happened. I know that I had a math teacher that didn't help the situation and helped me walk out of school. That last time that I went to public school, I walked out that day because she put a 0 on my test paper and told me to put my head down. So teachers can make a very big difference in your life. The people, you know, that are teaching us and guiding us and mentoring us have to be very careful what they do and what they say, you know, because it affected me tremendously. I remember walking out and the security guard trying to stop me and I gave him the finger and I was out, you know. One thing you said before about, you know, people relating, it's not always about the exact story. It's about the feelings. We've all felt loss. We've all felt pain. We've all felt, you know, good things too, right? It's about the feelings. It's relating and identifying with the feelings sometimes, because we can all identify with real life stuff.
It's been said that people, and I don't mean to cut you off, but I want
No.
to stay on point with something. It's been said that people try to escape, or when people get involved, or if they're in the throes of their addiction, they they're trying to escape, or they feel like they're in a different, they're someplace different, someplace warm and comfortable. So is it safe to say that when you did whatever it is that you did, that it gave you a sense of security, a sense of warmth, you were able to escape and go someplace else, as opposed to either who you were or who you thought you were in your mind's eye, and the way you felt that maybe the parents treated you? Was that a means for escape?
100%. Absolutely. It's escape. It's escape from the feelings of inadequacy, the feelings of abandonment. I came out the womb kicking and screaming, and I was upset all the time, and I didn't even really know why. So it was absolutely a means of escape. It was absolutely a means of escape.
So
It felt
for you,
good.
go ahead, keep going.
Go ahead. No, that's it. It felt good. It's that warm and fuzzy feeling until it's not.
Until it's not. For you, what was it? What was your, again, at any point, Anna, you could stop me and say, well, I don't want to talk about that right now. And that's fine. That's fine.
Of course.
You're doing very well. I think we're getting a sense. I mean, it's obvious that this is a very emotional subject, and it's obvious that for some people it's hard. And it looks like for you, you're comfortable with what you did because of probably where you're at. So, and we'll get into that again. That's part of next week's show. But what was your thing? What was your vice? What is it that you gravitated towards the most? Was it alcohol? Was it drugs? What was it? What was your thing?
That's a question that I want to say I don't want to answer. But there's nothing I didn't try.
That's good.
Most of my life it was alcohol and weed, Very hyperactive. I was self-medicating a lot too. I'm very hyperactive, so marijuana helped me to stay calm and stay still. And alcohol took me outside myself, and I was popular, right? And I could dance and all these things on alcohol. And it took me down a darker road than that. I'm just gonna say that. It took me down a darker road than that. But my daddy's gonna be watching this.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. No, listen, I'm not. Again, this is a very. You're inviting us. You're inviting us
Yes.
to an intimate part of your life, and it's a tough subject. It's not something most people will not do what you're doing right now. And the point
Right.
of this is to reach out to everyone who is watching us, and those of us, sorry, there are people out there that I feel who are desperate and looking for help. And you're just,
Yes.
especially nowadays with the chaos and we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. People are losing their jobs, and politics aside and religion aside, you can blame whoever you want to blame. I don't care. You can pray to whoever you want to pray to. I don't care. But what it really comes down to is the individual is the one that has to work with this problem. And I think it's noble, and I really appreciate you coming online for this first, the premiere of the show, and right from the gate, hitting hard and tackling a topic that I think way too many people are silent with or silent on. So.
Right. I will say this much, as far as like the pill popping epidemic that leads to worse things, I fell victim to that. Being hurt physically and then being put on the prescriptions, this is a real problem in this country. So I went down that road, and people that know what I'm talking about, that can lead to much darker things. And I will say that.
Got it.
Yeah.
So all right. So you made the decision to get clean. Let's talk about that for a minute. Let's not get into too much detail, because next week's show, I would like to talk about the pain, the actual pain in addiction.
Yes.
And then the happiness found at the end of recovery. So what we're doing right
Yeah.
now is just piecemeal, just a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and then next week we'll dive deeper into what the
Yeah.
pain is about. If you don't mind, of course, you're more than welcome to say, listen, Johnny Brooklyn, I'm just not going to do this anymore. Find somebody else. Again, you're free to choose what you want to do, and you're more than welcome to come back and join us next week as both guest and co-host. So you made a decision to get clean a few years ago, and you've been working on it and helping other addicts. So talk about your decision to get
Yes.
clean. Let's talk about the decision to get clean. What was it? Was there a pivotal moment that you said, I can't do this anymore. I've got to stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Talk to us about
Yeah,
it.
there absolutely was. There absolutely was. It was in a hotel room without giving too much detail. But after trying, several times, several times, 9 times to be specific, with detoxes and things of that sort, my life went to a bad place where I didn't have friends and I wasn't in contact with my family. And I couldn't take it anymore. I was in so much pain. And I know you want to wait to talk about the pain till next week, but pain is a fire under your ass. You're going to stay the same until the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change, if that makes any
Wow.
sense.
No, wow.
Yeah.
Well said.
So when it hurts enough, you'll get busy. You'll get up off your ass and you'll make a change. When you hit your bottom, and everyone's bottom is different, but it's when are you going to stop digging? And I decided to stop digging and hit that bottom, and I hit hard, and something came to me, a voice. It said, it's time to stop. Do whatever you have to do to get better, because I always knew that I was better than that, right? That I was supposed to do something else in this world and have purpose, and that I was living a life beneath me, and I always felt that inside, and I didn't want to go out like that.
Was there ever any, and again, just asking, was there ever a thought of just like giving up? Just, I can't do this anymore?
Many times. Yeah, like being suicidal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, absolutely. Wanting to just because the pain, and it was so great. But I believe that most people that are so-called suicidal, right? And a lot of people are, and I'm saying so-called because I'm talking about myself. I'm not putting, I'm not making light of anyone else's suicidal tendencies. But I believe that it's just that we really want to live and we're not able to live. We're not living the way that we want to live. So we feel like it would just be better to not exist, because the pain of not living the life that you were meant to live is extreme, and it's great. It's a great pain. Yeah, lots of times I wanted to throw in the towel, but there was just a little bit, I had self-loathing, right? Or else I wouldn't have done the things I did. But there was always a little bit of love left for myself somewhere in there. And I pulled on that, and I found the strength to get it together, to stop.
What's the first thing? Because I want to get into the concept of helping others, but what's the first thing that you did when you're in a hotel room? You're on your last. You've just finished your last whatever. You're at your wit's end. You don't know what to do. There's the voices are saying, end it, don't end it. What did I do? Why am I here? What was the first thing that you did to begin the recovery process?
I called the one friend that I had left that I knew that truly had my best interest at heart, which sometimes is hard to still find when you went down that path. I called him, and he came like he did many times before, and got me together and fed me, threw me in the shower, and took me to detox.
Wow.
That's where it began for me. That's not to say that everyone has to go down that route, but I needed that moment of pause. I needed to be ripped out of the situation and put somewhere else so that I could think about what's going on.
So you made a phone call. You're at your wit's end. You made a phone call. A friend of yours comes, picks you up, takes you to the house. You shower, you eat, you rest. Then what?
we make an appointment for the next morning to be there at 7 a.m.
So
And
you
I packed a bag, and that's what I did.
detox.
Yeah.
Wow. That takes a lot of guts, man. I mean, we see the problem on our streets. We recognize them in our families, and it just seems to go on and on and on. And we do everything in our power to try and help, trying to help others, but sometimes it just doesn't seem like we're making a dent or a difference. But you
Right.
just said, hey, listen, I can't do this anymore. And you got help. So you're getting help. You're in the process of recovery. It's a few years later, and now you're helping other addicts, other individuals with the addictive behavior or the propensity towards addiction. Talk to us about that.
Well, I still have a few more certifications to go before I can do it as a full-on career. But I am part of the Alumni Association of Samaritan Daytop Village Alumni Association, where I am the chairman of the speaking committee.
Wow.
And I take people into the facilities where the place that I graduated from and finished treatment. And I take people into the facilities and speak to the other addicts that are there. We have regular meetings in person and now in Zoom. I'm there, I did my first unofficial job with someone who came to me and asked for help specifically. And I called my people because now I have contacts, the right contacts. I'm highly involved with the Alumni Association, and that keeps me connected, and it keeps me one of my many new purposes to keep going and find reason to keep doing what I'm doing, and that's helping other people. Right now, the only way I help other people is by sharing my story, right? Because I heard the message of hope, right? Through people like me who've been through what I've been through and who are now clean and sober, getting their act together or have their act together. You got to keep in mind, this is an ongoing process. I have this disease and I have to be careful always and be vigilant. I can't ever just get complacent. I have to always remember, those times and that pain. So, lest I forget and get a bad idea, what I think is a good idea. And it's just get an idea that's no good for anybody. But I help people by spreading the word, spreading hope. You see my coffee mug, there's hope. That's my favorite word. I got a rock by my bed that says hope. I'm going to become, I took my class and got certified to be a recovery coach. And a recovery coach helps, works with addicts in treatment, in outpatient, in various different kinds of facilities and hospitals that have detox programs. There's a big need, a big market for recovery coaches right now because there's so much going on, and the world is collectively becoming aware of the drug use and the fact that it is a disease, and it's not as taboo as it used to be. The word is getting around, and I just want to be there for whoever needs my help. My number is on 24 hours a day. And I'm going to be a recovery coach, and then I'll be able to actually, have a Rolodex of resources. Okay, you need to get in here by tomorrow, done. You need a bed somewhere, done. You need some clothes, done. You need to call your family, you need to call your lawyer, you need to get a resume done. That's what I'm going to be doing. You need to get on a computer, come down to the office. We'll get you online. We'll get your resume done. We'll get whatever needs to be done. And that's the path that I chose. It's what I want to do. Because all my other dreams, right? Some of them, I'm not 20 years old anymore. Some of them have probably, passed.
So,
and we'll talk about that when you ask me my questions.
Yeah. We're gonna.
That's the path that I chose now.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you found purpose.
Yeah.
Most people, well, I can't say most people, but the idea behind recovery is that people become addicted. They get out of addiction. They begin to recover, and then they go back into their life, whatever their life was before. Like if they were a Wall Street executive, they go into a 30-day program, and once they're done and they get their certificate, then they go back on Wall Street and continue their life. You, on the other hand, have decided to make helping others your purpose. You decided to make this your job function in life, is to help other alcoholics. I'm assuming that there's an other underlying reason behind following the path that you are, because I'm assuming that by you staying connected, because it's obvious that you're very adamant about your recovery. It's obvious that you're doing well in your recovery. So I'm assuming that you want to stay connected and help others so that you can keep your recovery.
100%.
100%. So you got purpose.
It's that simple. It's that simple.
What now? You said programs. I don't know if I can mention this. There's two that I'm thinking about that you see on TV, but they don't really mention who they are. And we're talking about the rooms. Is that a part of your life?
You're talking about 12-step programs.
I'm talking about 12-step programs. Yeah.
You're talking about 12-step programs. You know, as a recovery coach in the classes that I took, I had to relearn a lot of things because I'm so 12-step based in my recovery. But one thing I can say right now before I talk about the 12-step program is that there are many different paths to recovery. And that is just one of them. You know, for me, because there's steps to be taken, there's accountability, there's service to be done, there's commitments to take, sponsors to have, sponsees to have, and I need to stay connected. You see, I get bored very easy too, and a lot of that was, you know, I self-medicated, I used because I was happy, because I was sad, because I was bored, because it was Tuesday, you know, so I need to always have something going on, especially now that I'm clean, right? I got super energy. Can't lay down and watch movies like I used to. I can't lay there anymore. I gotta go, go, go. The COVID is torture for me, right? Sometimes I just go and I'm walking and I'm taking the train just to go somewhere. And
So
yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm very, very involved in the 12-step program. I spoke at a meeting today.
I can only tell you that it's an amazing, not only is it an amazing story that we're going to dive into next week, but it's an amazing journey, and it's like I said, it's absolutely obvious that you've come a long way, and you should be very proud of yourself. Sorry, and again, I can't tell you how much, not just me, but I'm going to assume for the audience how much it's appreciated that you let us into your life on such an intimate level. Real quick, because you mentioned something about a disease. I'm gonna throw some stats at you, and then we have to start wrapping up because we have to move along on our menu. But 700 in the U.S. since 2000, there have been over 700 drug overdoses. The federal budget in 2020 was $34.6 billion in recovery programs and money to outlets to help the individuals in the drug addiction. And the percentage of people who had used illicit drugs in 2018 is a staggering 19.4%. That is an amazing number, that many people in the country of the United States are those are the ones who admit to it.
Right.
Those are the ones who admit to it. So you could probably bump that up another 5%. And if that's the case, it might be safe to say that 25% of the American populace is either has used drugs and alcohol or is hooked on drugs and alcohol. The point I'm trying to make is, since we're coming to the conclusion of our topic, what message would you like to share with those of us or those in the audience that either know someone or that are struggling with whatever addiction it is that they're struggling with? What's your message? what's your advice, and when should it start?
Oh, it should start immediately. Any time is a good time to begin. The message is always hope. You know, for someone like me that was hopeless, there's hope, because if I could get it together and become a decent human being, a productive member of society, trust me, you can do it. Anyone can do it. You have to come to terms with the fact that that you're an addict or an alcoholic. Acceptance is the key to recovery. It cannot be done without acceptance. You have to accept. You have to get honest. You know, that's my advice. Accept what's going on, and that's the first step. You know, now what do we do about it? Okay, I have a problem. What do I do about it now? And you reach out to someone like me, or a program, or, you know, for some people it's church, for some people it's their children, for some people it's, you know, whatever inspires you, whatever gives you hope and you know, makes you want to keep going. Grab on to that. And that's my best advice, is to come to terms with what's going on with you. You know, get honest. You have to get honest. There's no other way around it. That's why I'm able to sit here today and talk about this. You have to forgive yourself. Holding on to the past and not forgiving yourself will only hinder your future. There is no future while you're still back there. There's none. I had to forgive myself, even if there's some people who won't forgive me. You know, the gifts of recovery are plentiful. I'm going to tell you what makes me happy in a little while. But that's, you know, I mean, I could go on and on and on about this. You know, this is what I do, right? I speak to people about this.
So, I
Go
mean,
ahead.
maybe next week on our show, maybe we can, I think it's a good idea to maybe have some information to share with the audience. That's possible, because you seem to know some people. Maybe putting up a phone number next week, or maybe we can get more detailed with the information people can access to get some help.
Yeah. I'll ask my alumni. I'll have to ask the people that I know, directors and what have you, if we could go ahead and post some phone numbers, or, you know, a helpline, or whatever it is that we have. I will definitely have, like, you know, some recovery pages on Facebook and things like that I'm a part of. Yeah.
Well, Anna, I got to tell you, amazing story, amazing accomplishments. We are so happy that you're in recovery, and you really seem to be doing good for yourself, and you're moving forward, and that's always a great thing to hear. So since we're at coming to the end of the show, I want to stick to the format on the menu, and just real quick, what's your biggest regret?
It's twofold. I can't answer that with one. My biggest regret is not following my dream to be a famous actress and have an Oscar by the time I'm 37. That's my biggest regret. And wasting time. And not being there for my kid.
So you have a son.
Yeah.
Awesome. And what would you do different?
It's so cliche, but I would stay in school.
Stay in school. Yeah, me too.
Graduate when I'm supposed to, because it only gets harder. The further away you are from being in school, the more time that passes, the more you forget stuff. And it's insane how hard it is to go back to school and learn the simplest of things, you know, math for me.
And last but not least, what makes you happy? What makes Anna happy?
Oh my goodness. My son forgiving me makes me very happy. Probably the happiest, that I can call him in the morning. I can call him at night. You know, I can hit him up. He answers me back. Having him in my life makes me extremely happy. I'll never go back to not having him in my life. Pink things make me happy. Gotta be a little silly with it sometimes.
Fine. It's what makes
Helping,
you happy.
helping people makes, what?
It's what makes Anna happy. That's the question. Ink is
Helping
fine.
people,
Say
helping
again?
people makes me happy. Good music makes me happy. And a good cup of coffee.
There you go. I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that coffee part, a moment. It's the one, I gotta tell you, it's the drink of the gods. It has to be, because it's just synonymous with the individual. You have your cell phone in one hand, a cup of coffee in the other, and the world seems right. And even when the cell phone is off, you still want a cup of coffee to dial in the day and to, I don't know, wake you up in the morning. So anyway, Anna, listen, it has been amazing talking to you and having you with us at the Cafe Stream, and you know, being a semi co-host. You really didn't say much. That's probably because that's my fault, because I have such a big mouth, because I'm Johnny from Brooklyn. So, again, you're totally invited to come back next week, and I hope we can dive a little bit more into the pain, and then the dive into, and you know, I'll figure that out on my paper, but I want to discuss the pain a bit more, and then we'll get into the recovery process a bit more as well. We'll get a little bit more detail, just so that the audience can get a sense of just how important the statistics are, and how important it is that the individual, and what the individual goes through. We take it for granted that the people that we know, oh yeah, okay, so he drinks too much, or oh yeah, okay, he was in a drug program, or he's in detox, or he lost his job, or you know, the list can go on. But we really don't appreciate what the individual goes through. The Cafe Stream is about the individual, outside of politics and religion. Check out my website; it'll explain in detail what I mean by that. But enough is enough. It's the individual that makes the world go round, and since that's the case, it's probably a good idea to know about the individual a bit more, and don't take it for granted that we're people living on a planet and that's about it. You know, no, we're individuals, and we all have a story, and each one of those stories can help another individual in their story, and then we can start worrying about the neighborhood and the city and whatever else, the country. Let's worry about the individual. So next week, again, guys, next week, Anna Russo is going to come back and join us for part 2 of addiction. I haven't figured out the topic title. That's.
Can I bring a friend?
Yes, more, of course. So guys and gals, girls and boys, Anna Russo will be back next week with a friend. I'm assuming the friend's also going, don't wave, don't go yet. Stay, hang out, drink your coffee. Are you done with your coffee?
I'm right here.
How much coffee you got left?
About 2 sips.
2 sips. Christ. All right.
It's a big cup.
Yeah, it's a bigger cup. All right, so where are we?
Yes, my friend that I'm bringing is going to also speak about his recovery and the
Good, I want that. The more the merrier, to coin a cliche. So, all right, listen, it was a very good show. Had some kinks in it. I'm assuming I could do better. But we're going to end the show with a little bit of advice. Don't worry about what's on the outside of your windows. Worry about what's on the inside of your heart. Don't take yourself for granted. If you take care of yourself, everything else will take care of itself. Hug your family members, pet your dog, cuddle with your cat. And if you feel really down and out, go shopping. Buy something on Amazon. Amazon, I expect my royalty check. So listen, guys, if we take a moment to think about the millions of individuals that share our planet, it can be difficult to know if any common ground exists. The internet and the sidewalks are filled with politics, religion, and plenty of anger, plenty of discussions and arguments, and plenty of posts that say, I hate you, I hate him, I hate her, I hate this, I hate that. And these front page internet topics make it very hard to be open-minded, make friends, or simply to sit down and meet one another. Let's take all that garbage, put it outside the house, take all that dark matter, clean out the heart, sit with us at the cafe stream, enjoy a laugh, learn something, and share something. And then with that, you can become a better individual. I can become a better person, and we can all, as individuals, get to know one another and make this maybe a better place to live. What do you think? I think that's a good idea. And don't forget, with a cup of coffee. All right, with that, Anna, I will see you next week. It was an absolute pleasure talking to you. I look forward to meeting you and your friend next week. And to everybody out there watching the cafe stream, I hope you enjoyed this debacle. If you need to take a shower after the show, I totally understand. Hate mail, I get it. Constructive criticism, bring it on. Or just subscribe and say hello. And with that, the cafe stream says, have a nice day, enjoy the rest of it, and drink coffee.
Yes.
Bye, Anna.
Bye. Thank you for having me.
Of course. See you next week.
See you next week, guys.
Bye-bye. Bye.